everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope your day is going well. I hope you're in the mood for kind of a mixed bag in this video. I'm going to talk about some things that I've gotten, okay, some recent purchases, some things that I am definitely not getting, so kind of an anti-haul, and maybe a few things that I've got my eye on still as well. So I thought this might be a fun video to do and kind of chat a little bit about my rationale for maybe not getting certain new things. I am trying to be a little bit more choosy about the makeup I buy these days, and it makes me feel a little more excited about the purchases I do make. One thing that I'm really interested in right now is trying different light coverage products, different light foundations or BB and CC creams, and for whatever reason I'm very interested in familiarizing myself with a lot of different ones so I can give you this video coming up that's going to be a real like mixture and kind of ranking, and I've got actually a really cool idea for the categorization of these, so like the video really makes sense and you can understand how some of these different products work, because to me I do think that some of these BB and CC creams and light coverage foundations, they can be the most like hard to visualize what you're actually getting when you make the purchase. You know, some could be as full coverage as IT Cosmetics, some could be barely there, and I guess I'm trying to demystify where everything lies on that spectrum, okay? So I'm going to talk about a few new things that I've gotten here recently, and they are in the name of trying more of these products and just kind of understanding how they work. So I tried some really highly rated BB creams on Sephora's website. They're kind of my most recent ones that I'm really in the process of trying right now. I got the Armani Prima Glow Control Glow Moisturizer in the shade 2. That is what I'm wearing for my coverage today. Very light coverage. It does have SPF 35, but this did have some really good ratings, so I wanted to test it out, and this is only like my second time using it, but I'm kind of surprised at just how light that is. Here's another thing that I had tried in a sample size. I think it came in a Sephora Play box at some point in time. It's the Dr. Jart Premium BB Beauty Balm Multi-Action Skincare Plus Makeup Plus Sunscreen, and this has SPF 45. It does have the pump there. It's interesting. This is not a squeezy tube. I kind of like that packaging actually. I got it in 01 Light Medium. It claims to be a firming moisturizer, has the sunscreen and antioxidants, and improves the appearance of uneven skin tone. So there's another one I want to be trying. Since purchasing this, I've only used it once, and it's pretty light, but I'm kind of enjoying the finish on the skin. Then I really felt like I had to try the Herborian BB cream. So in the past, I have gotten the CC cream. I've had this on hand for maybe over a year or so, and this I felt like did very little for my skin coverage wise, but as I was looking at Sephora's website, this was the one, the BB cream, that had the higher ratings, so I thought maybe that's the one I need to be trying, and it does definitely give me a lot more coverage on my skin and a really good look, and it wore a really long time too, so enjoying that one so far. I did get it in a deeper shade, like I have this one in Claire and this one in Dore or Dore, so I think this is more like the medium or light medium shade, and this is the light shade. This I think will probably go on to be perfect as the summer rolls on and I get more into my summer skin tone, but I'm really glad I did go ahead and get that. Also, one other thing I got is the BB crayon. Yeah, I had to try that out. It seemed really like, what the heck is this? They claimed that this could be, you know, kind of a all over the face product, or you could spot conceal with it, or you could touch up with it. Just a real multitasker. So I feel like I'm still sort of figuring this one out. It does have a really beautiful texture and it blends in so easily. Like I did actually draw this thing all over my face, and I was shocked at how quickly and easily it blended in. So still working with that, working with all those things. This is not the final word on BB creams, but those are just a few more that I really felt like I needed to add into my mix to consider what ones I like the best. And another one that I know is really popular is the Misha BB cream. I've gone ahead and ordered that on Amazon. That's a little lower priced one, but I've heard amazing things about it, and I feel like it won't be a BB/CC light coverage video without talking about how that functions as well. Two other things that I did get recently on Sephora, Lancome Juicy Tubes are back, and purely out of nostalgia, I went ahead and I got one of these. I got the one in the shade Tickled Pink, and I'm not wearing this today, but this actually does have kind of just enough pigment to satisfy me on the lips, you know? It's sheer. I remember all of these being super sheer, but it shows up pinky enough. It has a slanted tip. I remember these having the rounded tip back in the day, did they not? But anyway, it's a tacky kind of lip gloss that does does have decent staying power because it does have a thickness, a tackiness. I just dropped it. But this shade is kind of nice, kind of everyday. I just wanted to sort of re-experience that. And one concealer I wanted to try is the Pat McGrath concealer. I got this in the shade L6, and I gotta say, it's absolutely perfect. It's not so light that it functions purely as a brightener or something. Like, I feel like it's somewhat brightening on my skin, but the coverage and the tone is so perfect. Tone is part of coverage. You can't just flat out grab the lightest concealer and say, you know, this is gonna solve all my problems. I do think the tone has to be right if you're correcting darkness like under eye darkness or melasma or something like that. You gotta pay attention to tone, and this covers really, really well, I thought. I'm still gonna be playing with that. I find that when I do use some of those lighter coverage face products, I pull in a concealer that I really like alongside it. Anyway, that's my story on the things I've been really interested in. As you can see, it's kind of one avenue of makeup that I'm very much honing in on right now. But now I want to talk about the things that are complete anti-hauls for me. First, I kind of went through Ulta's website and I was just looking at the new things, as I tend to do on a regular basis. I see what's new there. Here's one thing that tempts me, okay? It's the Tarte Confessions of a Maneater Eye and Cheek palette, and I love the tones going on, and I love that it's a combo blush and eye palette, but I've got to look at those tones and say, I own those tones, you know? Like, I definitely have some of those purples. I've got purples in every level in my collection. I've got the bright ones from Violet Voss. I've got the more muted ones from like Viseart and a number of other brands. So I do really like it though. It seems like a well-balanced palette in terms of color scheme. Like, there's 6 eyeshadows and it looks like there's light, medium, and dark. There's matte and shimmer. Those blushes are calling my name, but I'm going to say no to that simply because there are too many palettes currently in the mix, and I've decluttered a bunch, but there's still a lot. Also from Tarte, the Maneater Plump and Prowl Lip Plumper. I get drawn in by lip plumpers a lot because they tend to have kind of a cooling feel on the lips, and I really like that. And I kind of feel like in a subtle way, brands are churning out the plumping products. I mean, heck, I even tried a plumping blush and a plumping highlight in a recent video, but I'm just noticing in my collection, I've got quite a few things that claim a plumping benefit for lips. And I don't necessarily notice people diving in and talking about it a whole bunch right now, but there's a lot of plumpers. And this is Maneater Plump and Prowl Lip Plumper, and it's just a clear lip gloss. And for that reason, I'm not gonna try it because that might be something that does draw me in an instant, and I'm like, oh yeah, I wanna try that. But stop and think that it is a clear gloss, and how often am I actually wanting a clear gloss? Like, if that came in a series of colors, I might grab a color of it just to see if it worked and what it felt like and whatever. But clear lip glosses, especially like, you know, it's got the doe foot applicator. How is that gonna work? Am I really gonna wear it on its own? Probably not. So am I gonna layer it over something? Yeah, but then you've got that doe foot applicator that's gonna come out, and then you're gonna rake that over a colored lipstick, and you're gonna compromise the color, and then you're gonna put the doe foot back in. David and I have discussed this before. He says that's like a pet peeve of his, and yeah, I guess you could scrape it off with your finger and then rub it on your lips, but I don't love that experience, so it's not too hard for me to talk myself out of just a straight up clear lip gloss, even if it does claim some kind of fun benefits. What else did I decide against? Oh, Makeup Revolution has a new palette. It's the Heatwave Shadow palette, and y'all know I do love Makeup Revolution. I think they're doing a great job at putting out affordable palettes. There's a lot of variety. I think there's something for everyone from this brand, but this palette I look at and I say, okay, I see a bunch of shades, they're all scrambled up. They do tend to do this in a lot of palettes, really scramble them up, and you have to really analyze the palette and say, how much of the same shade am I getting in here? Because this looks like a ton of mid-tone golds and bronzes in here. Like, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 or 9 shades in there that have a lot of overlap. So when you recognize that and then you kind of look at what's left, you say, is it really worth it for me to have that palette? It's still $25, you know, and I'm sure the pigment is good, and I do like those warm tones on my eyes, but I think I can definitely get away with skipping that. Oh, another thing from Ulta that I'm gonna pass on is the KKW Beauty Mrs. West eyeshadow palette. I click on it because I like the vibe, and I'm like, oh, you know, basic little palette. I like small palettes. I like a little bit more downsized palettes these days, as opposed to the one we just saw from Makeup Revolution. Lots of shades, lots of overlap. I am attracted to something that's going to be, say, just 6 shades inside, but then I click it and I'm like, oh, you totally got all this. You've got all this going on like many, many, many times over. It looks to be a very basic palette. You've got like a rose color, a medium brown, a dark brown, what appears to be on the top row, like maybe a matte cream sandwiched between a like shimmery light champagne color and maybe one that's a little more cool tone pinky. And that's kind of it. No doubt that would create a nice basic neutral eye, but I have that over and over again. And just because it's a small, cute looking compact palette, like that doesn't mean I need it, right? Or I assume it's somewhat small. Maybe the shades are giant, but it seems to be a smallish palette. What else did I decide to skip? Oh, there's some new stuff from ColourPop. There's this Solstice eyeshadow palette and also an Equinox eyeshadow palette. And at a glance, they do look really pretty. The Equinox one has kind of this cool mauve-y thing going on, which didn't they just put out a mauve palette? They're appealing colors, but I think it's skippable for me. The one that draws me in maybe even more is the Solstice one. It's got like a splash of murky spring green, but also some rose shades and some neutrals. And it's kind of like a miniature take on that Venus XL2, the one from Lime Crime that I recommended for spring, that has that pretty mix of roses and greens and neutrals and warm browns. And like, it's a beautiful, stunning palette. And I really talked that up for spring, and this just feels like a snapshot of that. So I don't know, maybe if you're not wanting to spend the full money on the full Venus XL palette, but you want a little bit of that green and that rose and just that color story, $14 ain't bad here from ColourPop. But I've also, I've kind of got the look in here from my Once palette. I've got that look from the Venus XL, so I feel like that is skippable for me. Oh, CoverGirl now has a clean, fresh prep and set water mist. I need to stay away from any and all mists right now. I've got plenty of them back there. I've got many that I'm like, oh, I don't want to declutter that one because it does this, or this one smells like roses, or this one smells like cucumber, and this one smells like Fruity Pebbles, so I need to keep them all. I can't get any more mists. And honestly, there are a lot of them that aren't that different in terms of what they're delivering. I think Urban Decay All Nighter, that one's doing something special. I got some really dewy ones that I think are also doing something special on the other end of the spectrum, but there's a lot of just general mists in the middle that are basically interchangeable, and I don't need those, even though I can see they've been marked down to $6.99 and they come in 3 cents. I'm not gonna get them. Oh, and going back real quickly to that concept of the palette that has the green and the rose and the neutral, Stila's Road Less Traveled eyeshadow palette. This is an 8-color palette, immediately attracted to that, very edited down amount of shades, but I look at it and I say, that reminds me of Venus XL2, that reminds me of my Once palette. Like, it literally has deep green, light green, gold, rose, plum is in there too. Like, it looks like a pretty mix, but it's just not a mix I really need right now. So that kind of wraps up all the things that I'm planning to skip. There are probably some other even more obvious skips that I ran across on these websites, but I kind of wanted to focus in on things that normally might draw me in, but I'm gonna pass on right now. And a lot of it is palettes. I think I have to be really choosy with the palettes I'm bringing in. I'm trying to not just jump on every little thing that sort of intrigues me, but there are a few things that I would say I might try. Like, I'm kind of considering them. One of them, on Ulta's website, there's a new bronzer from Buxom. Most of the bronzers I'm using have been around for quite a while, kind of in the mood to try something new, and Buxom has this Staycation Vibes Primer-Infused bronzer. You'll recall that when they put out their blushes, they called those Primer-Infused blushes, and I have one of those from Buxom, and it's really, really good. This bronzer comes in 2 tones. One's called Backyard Bronze, one is called Rooftop Tan. They both look pretty good. The model pictures look fantastic. Even the swatches, like, they don't look so much like one is leaps and bounds lighter than the other, but they just look like 2 different tones. I'm not sure which one I might go with. I might go Backyard Bronze on it, actually, but I'm just thinking about it because I figure it's probably going to be a nicely pigmented, really nicely textured bronzer, and both of those tones look really nice. And also, skipping over to Sephora's website, the ABH Norvina, Rain alert, it's gonna start raining at 6:38. The ABH Norvina Pro Pigment Volume 4 palette. There have been obviously multiple volumes of these palettes come out. This one is calling my name more than any of the others. They're doing another thing in here, like I kind of explained with the Revolution palettes. There's a big scramble of shades. They're not putting it out there like a steady gradient. They're kind of mixing it all up, and it makes you really look at the palette, see what's in there, and say, is there overlap? Is there some hidden overlap going on with some of these shades? Are there a lot of repeat colors? And here, the more I look at it, the more I think, no, I don't think there's really an overlap. I think there's a nice bunch of berry and a little splash of a beautiful lilac shade in there, some pink, and mixed with that are maybe a couple of warm browns, and then quite a few different cool colors too. Cool neutrals. Up there in that upper right hand corner, you know, I see a lot of that. It's tempting me. I'm not saying I'm gonna get it yet. It's $60. I mean, that seems extreme, but I really am thinking about it. There's also a really fun pop of yellow in that palette. Maybe you guys in the comments section, you can tell me what you think about that. Would you encourage me to get it? Would you not? I welcome your feedback there. I could definitely be swayed on that. There's another thing that I could be swayed on. Where is it? From the Sephora collection called Weekend Warrior Tone Up Cream. And it says a weightless complexion booster infused with skincare benefits, visibly brightens and blurs and evens out skin's appearance. It does claim to be light coverage with a natural finish. It's just a cream, looks like a squeeze tube type of product. Really thinking about this, really wondering if this should be in the mix with things that I'm trying. I mean, I gotta draw the line somewhere, right? With these light coverage products, I gotta say, okay, this is all I'm gonna test for now. Like, I can't really do everything. There's a zillion and one products out there like this, but I'm kind of thinking about that one. It's $16 and I'm considering. All right, guys, I feel like I've been talking forever, but hopefully you found this interesting and informative. I think it takes the will I buy it kind of video trend to the next level, because there are definitely things that I did try, I did buy them, but also some things that I'm not gonna try, and it sort of puts that out there to you. And keep in mind, that's not to say that those things that I'm not gonna buy, it's not to say that they're not good products, because they may be fabulous, they may be better than I could even dream of. So when I think about anti-hauls, that is like the little thing on my shoulder saying, but you don't really know everything about this product, so don't talk like you do. So I'm not trying to claim to know everything about them, but we all have to go through this thought process as we're shopping online for makeup. We all have to stop and think, like, do I really need this? Where am I drawing the line at buying new products? And that's just kind of the thought process I've gone through. And as you could see, some of those things might be really good, but it's just a matter of overlap with things that I already have, just a very clear overlap with some of those things. So that's why I'm not getting them. By the way, do you enjoy the glam today? I went, you know, very light coverage on the skin. This Armani Prima product, very, very light, but I did wear a fuller coverage concealer with it. Today I'm actually wearing the Hourglass concealer, which I thought went on really nicely. Decided to bust out my Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette. That's what this looks like right here. I'm just in a real berry mood. I put on some Wispies lashes. These are the Wispies 113, so they're like a little more long, but still kind of light and fluttery. And then on the lips, I'm wearing one of these new Sigma lipsticks. It's in the shade, the Infinity Point lipstick in the shade Temptation. And this was just kind of a very classic rosy, sort of dusty rose color, but I berried it up a little more, added a little more richness with the Urban Decay 24/7 liner in Hex on top of that. So that's the look today, everybody. Oh, and my blush. I've been wearing these blushes quite a bit, my little stack from Amazon. These crack me up. First I put on the cool pink shade. These are all matte blushes, just a wonderful little stack here, and I've got that shade on, and then before I came on camera I layered on a bit more of the more neutral soft shade, but they're all like really pigmented, and I love taking to my stack every day. But thank you guys again. I'll let you go. Have a great day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.
Nice video, Mom.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, hon. I've got a little director back there. She's coming in early in the mornings to work over at the desk or color pictures for everybody. She's the morale booster.
Hi.
Oh, is she too cute? What's your favorite kind of makeup sitting around here?
That.
Ooh, you like these? Long-wearing lip products. Yes, my practical child. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye, everybody.